Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, I am absolutely thrilled to dive into this with you today because we're unpacking a topic that honestly sounds like it was pulled straight out of a science fiction novel. But the crazy part? It's our immediate reality. We're going to explore how emerging technologies and artificial intelligence aren't just tweaking our daily routines, but are fundamentally intersecting with our future in the stars and the actual legacy we're leaving behind right here on Earth. So get ready, because this is a fascinating journey through the IA Live framework.
So, right off the bat, how exactly is artificial intelligence prepping us for space exploration? It's a huge question, right? We usually think of AI as just the thing powering our smartphone apps or our laptops. But the IA Live framework projects a vision that goes way, way beyond our atmosphere. It actually proposes that this technology is going to be the crucial vehicle that allows us not just to map the vastness of space, but to survive and thrive in literally the most extreme environments imaginable.
So here's our flight plan for today. First, we've got exploration and future scenarios. Second, global networks and open science. Third, sustainability and intergenerational responsibility. And finally, we'll wrap things up with living works in our future. Let's get into it.
Starting with Part 1, Exploration and Future Scenarios.
The mandate laid out in the IA Live framework is, well, it's crystal clear. It doesn't just settle for pushing known boundaries. Its explicit goal is to actively promote study and research focused directly on space exploration and developing tech for extreme environments. Think about what this means in practice. We are talking about pointing the immense, world-changing analytical power of AI directly toward the most hostile and unknown frontiers of the universe. It's about systematically blowing past the limits of human knowledge.
But, and this is absolutely crucial, there's a hard condition tied to all of this. It must be done, quote, always for peaceful purposes and for the benefit of humanity. The framework is neutral, sure, but it is incredibly firm on this specific point. This isn't about sparking some new arms race in space. It is strictly a scientific endeavor designed from the ground up so that its discoveries benefit everyone equally.
So, how on Earth, literally, do we physically and mentally prepare for a leap like this? Well, Article 77 gives us the blueprint by outlining the preparation for new scenarios. To get out into space, our learning paths back here on Earth have to radically evolve. The competencies of our future workforce have to be built on three main pillars: mastering new technologies, integrating emerging sciences, and deeply understanding the specific context of space exploration. Basically, we have to teach ourselves to think and operate in entirely new ways.
Moving on to Part 2. Global networks and open science. Look, nobody is reaching deep space or building this level of advanced technology in a vacuum. Innovation at this kind of massive scale absolutely requires global networks. We're talking about bringing together a huge spectrum of players under Article 78. Yes, universities, scientific centers, and big corporations, but also social organizations and local communities. Real progress demands a web of collaboration that cuts across every single level of our society.
And for a massive global network like that to actually function smoothly, we need what the framework calls open science and collaboration, which is laid out in Article 79. This means actively and responsibly promoting the open exchange of knowledge and research results. The core idea here is that data and breakthrough discoveries shouldn't be locked away in isolated silos. They need to flow freely so they can accelerate our collective technological progress.
Now, of course, there's a delicate balance to strike here. On one side of the scale, you have this immense, driving need to share knowledge openly. But on the flip side, this has to be done while strictly respecting authorship, intellectual property, applicable licenses, and above all, the rights of the actual participants. So it's an open ecosystem, yes, but a highly regulated and deeply ethical one that's designed to protect the creators and researchers doing the heavy lifting. That brings us to Part 3, sustainability and intergenerational responsibility.
Bringing things back down to earth for a minute, there's this inescapable commitment at the very heart of the framework. Every single innovation, every piece of research driven by IA Live, even the tech that is destined for deep space, has to constantly seek an equilibrium, a balance between rapid technological progress and serious environmental protection. The ultimate goal isn't just to advance for the sake of advancing, It's to contribute to sustainable development and genuinely improve the quality of life right here on our home planet. Because let's face it, we can't look to the stars if we're destroying the ground beneath our feet.
I actually want you to just pause and think about this for a second. The scientific and technological decisions being made right now, today, in laboratories and policy forums all over the world, they don't just affect us. They are actively and irreversibly shaping the world that future generations are going to inherit. It's a pretty overwhelming level of responsibility when you step back and look at it, but under Article 81, it's absolutely essential to recognize.
And the IA Live text is super specific about what that inheritance should actually look like. It's not just a legacy of smart gadgets and better code. It aims to secure an intergenerational legacy built on knowledge, health, freedom, democracy, and a really profound respect for nature. It's honestly fascinating how a document so focused on cutting-edge AI and space exploration firmly anchors its ultimate goals in such classic, deeply human values.
Finally, Part 4, Living Works and Our Future.
The final declaration kicks off with a really profound philosophical statement. It says, research and innovation constitute permanent expressions of human learning. I love this because it reminds us that our drive to invent, to create artificial intelligence, to build rockets and explore the unknown, it isn't something artificial at all. It's a totally natural extension of who we are. It is the pure essence of humanity, constantly seeking to learn and push beyond its own limits.
Which leads us to what is probably the most beautiful and defining concept of the whole text: living works, or obras vivas. The end game here isn't just creating cold, abstract AI in a server room somewhere. The true purpose is to integrate human talent right alongside AI and emerging technologies. It's about taking all that abstract knowledge we've been talking about and transforming it into pure action. It's humanity and technology genuinely merging to create living, dynamic works.
So why go through all this trouble to create these living works? Well, it's to build a future grounded in freedom and democracy, one that guarantees health and natural food, and a future framed by sustainability, cooperation, and peace. It's a massive, incredibly ambitious vision, but extreme technologies and space exploration are, at the end of the day, just the tools that will help us actually materialize these goals.
So we're going to wrap up this explainer with a question for you to really chew on. What technological legacy will we leave to future generations? We've explored the massive ambitions of IA Live today, from conquering extreme environments in space to protecting our fragile environment here at home. But ultimately, the way we choose to adopt and participate in these global networks today will dictate the answer to that question tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep that curiosity alive.